The great irony is, of course, that Donald Trump is the son of an immigrant, the grandson of an immigrant, and married to an immigrant. In fact, 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants, proving yet again that immigrants will do the jobs that even Americans are not willing to do.
Oh, what a mic drop that was, dude.
I mean, it's really important for us to remember our history. Unless you're one of the first Americans, a Native American, you came from someplace else. Somebody brought you. The Irish, who left behind a land of famine. The Germans, who fled persecution. The Scandinavians, who arrived eager to pioneer out west. The Polish, the Russians, the Italians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the West Indians, the huddled masses who came through Ellis Island on one coast and Angel Island on the other. All those folks, before they were us, they were them.
Say, you're not American, first and foremost. You're not.
Remember what I said? The agitation from you is not going to be lower.
What I'm saying,
you came to lower the temperature and then make racist remarks. You know that's a racist remark.
It's not racist.
You tell an American citizen.
But okay, perfect. You just proved your own point. You just said that was a racist position.
Yes.
Earlier, you argued this contention that America has no race. It's a bunch of immigrants that culminate together.
America has no race.
You inferred it. You absolutely did. Okay. So now you're saying it's racist for me to take an American nationalist approach. You're kind
of an American national approach. Is that a white approach?
I think it's a white nativist approach. Of course,
so only Americans are white people.
Why did your parents immigrate from India?
Only white people.
Why did your parents immigrate from India to the UK?
Because the UK colonized and conquered India.
Okay, why did you immigrate to America?
Because many reasons.
Okay, all opportunity. There's opportunity.
That's not true. You don't know.
The accent. Your accent is an afflict of white Anglo-Saxon.
You know there are 50 million Americans in this country.
I understand, but
none of them are Americans in your view.
What I'm trying to get you to do to reach a common ground here.
We're not going to reach a common ground. Hi, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you, Daniela. So in regards to your claim, I just want to start by asking this. Do you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. What's the basis of your claim for that?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay. Yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans in this country.
Yes, but
you didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
positively, I would argue.
People like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for. And because, more blue collar work, especially in construction, agriculture and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields. So it requires
Are you looking for a job in construction or agriculture?
No, I went to college.
Okay.
Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields. Also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay. Is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I can
I'm an immigrant and an American, and I employ many American citizens, both naturalized and the ones born here. I employ Americans.
My parents came
Americans as defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed to immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was born
But you don't accept that immigrants are Americans?
Not at this moment.
So your parents are not Americans?
Not at this moment.
So hold on, your parents are not Americans?
They're citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not opposed to naturalization. I never said that I'm against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against naturalization.
You began. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants, you said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but I want to make the claim that we cannot
I came here as an immigrant. I'm an immigrant.
But at this point, when they came, the United States
people aren't happy with the way this is going for you.
The United States economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been for many years. And I can say that as someone who doesn't like Donald Trump.
We're giving millions and billions of dollars to people of minorities as well as
the reason the economy is doing badly now is because Donald Trump's tariff policy. Nothing to do with migrants. In fact, the congressional.
They can't even start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business.
I understand because the SBA is giving people billions of loans.
Take any loans.
They're giving them billions.
I didn't take any loans.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying that statistically speaking, they're giving billions of loans.
So should we do statistics? according to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
They're more likely
absolutely.
to start businesses
No, I'm aware of
and
that.
hire Americans.
No, I'm aware
right?
of that.
Immigrants
But
are
we
more
also-
likely to pay in taxes than
Yeah.
take out in benefits.
And
They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional Budget Office.
Let
me just finish my point and then let you come back
Okay,
in.
go
The
ahead.
Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge that you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I
All
understand
right,
that, but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Nice
seat.
to meet you.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Eddie.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first, before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk
Great.
about all those things. I need
All
to
of
know
them.
what you mean.
All of them.
All of them.
I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
think lower
culture.
wages are
They're
good for the
for
economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where are the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at
basis for saying there are lower wages?
Sure. So you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking. If you
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time
That's not-
from
that's just-
immigrants.
that's
In
just-
fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages
Who's that
and
by?
raised innovation.
Who's that by?
productivity. National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking
Yes,
for
I
the
didn't
author.
memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you did, right?
Can you
It's
give
from-
me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did
The
he.
vast majority
Hold
of
on,
studies.
let me speak,
Please.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approach, which is what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach, where you look at the specific firms that immigration's going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did. You find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5%. Weigh that up against what I just mentioned from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for. Massive increase in tax revenue. Immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes proportionately, including undocumented immigrants. And what's interesting about wages is I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans, fascists, I don't know. One of you has proudly said
You can
that.
call us correct.
One of
That's
us
what you can
proudly.
call
Oh
us.
yeah, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because for example,
I actually do.
For example,
right?
do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, and you
Great.
can't do that when you're bringing all these people
So
coming into
that's
a
not
country.
the reason the
Yes,
Republican
it
Party
is.
blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration?
Did I
We have
say I
not
voted
had an
Republican?
increase.
Did I say I
We've
voted
not-
Republican?
Well, I'm on a show that was called 25 Far-Right Republicans.
That
I'm
doesn't mean I'm
assume
going to
you are.
support every single Republican
Good.
candidate.
So you
right?
and I, good. So you and I,
Yeah,
you and I,
don't
let's
support-
agree.
I don't
We
support-
both support raising the minimum wage. Yes,
100%.
$7.25 since 2009. It's lost 30% of its value.
100%.
If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of
Can I
low wages in the
respond?
country. You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires,
Yeah, and
people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a native.
I get the monologue right now. Let me respond.
You had
right?
one. You had one
No,
with
no,
your
but-
one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So let's get back to the point,
because,
right?
Because I don't need
And
to
there
know
it
one
goes
study.
again. Yeah, let's
the
hear it.
majority of studies say that wages are not impacted
The
by
majority of your
migration over
studies
time.
are flawed. That's what I'm
They're
telling
not my
you.
studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
Don't assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But
right?
are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to major in economics, right?
Are you an economist?
No, not right now.
Okay, so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume.
To use your
things.
favorite word.
See here, dude. This is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get to
That's
the point.
great, but
so
you're
when
not
you
an
talk about
economist.
when you talk about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment.
Do I
was
know
like
what it means? I thought we're not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting
That's how
poverty
it's always
wages.
been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages.
You
Can we
won't let
agree
me
again?
Yes. If you go to the Logood Institute, they calculated a way where it's like functional unemployment. Okay. If you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together, and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer. I can say that.
Who hires the immigrants?
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So
But
when you bring up these big firms,
okay, so
that's the
let me
way
ask
that
you,
keep
let me
wages
ask you
down.
a
You
question.
understand that, right?
So let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you hate everything we stand for. It's funny that you said you're a Catholic nationalist. How did most Catholics get to America? Irish Catholics, Italian Catholics. Immigration. Much of the people coming across the southern border are Catholics.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
So it's really funny that you say you're a Catholic nationalist, but Catholics came to America via immigration.
Yeah, so there's...
So immigration is good for America. You and I can agree. Otherwise, people of your faith wouldn't be here.
No. Well, we were here on this side of the world, in this continent, from conquest. We came over here and
But the big surges of numbers, as you well know, because you're a smart guy, Italian, Irish immigration waves, Catholic immigration waves.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not even claiming...
Are you against those?
I'm not even
Were
claiming...
you against those if you were alive
I'm
then?
not even claiming that
'Cause
immigration
a lot of people
is
were
bad.
against those.
I'm not claiming immigration is bad in all cases at all times.
What is your claim?
My claim is that immigration, especially now, and especially for foreign people that have nothing in common with us,
it's funny that you say it's especially
a negative
now.
thing.
I've forgotten your name. My apologies.
Brian. Yeah. How many?
In every era, there has been a Brian who says, "I'm not against immigration, just immigration now."
Okay.
This is what people said about Italians. It's what people said about Irish folks. Said about Russians, Poles, and now we're saying about people coming across the southern border. Because you're not being, you're being a little disingenuous. Saying I'm only against immigrants now. This is a trope.
How's that disingenuous?
This is because it's a trope that's been used by nativists throughout American history, and every wave of immigrants has come in and faced the same hate and animus and bigotry and lazy truth. And every wave of immigration is ultimately assimilated, integrated, benefited the country. In fact, assimilation right now, according to Jacob Victor from the University of Washington, assimilation rates based on language and citizenship and naturalization are higher now than 100 years ago.
Okay, let me make a statement first. I think that you in your own
my statement, but
you and your own person are a complete perfect example of why immigration is negative and why we shouldn't allow people who don't have anything in common with us. You're pro-abortion, you're pro-euthanasia, you're pro...
I'm pro-euthanasia?
Yeah, you went... I've seen your stuff. You've defended euthanasia.
Pro-euthanasia?
Yeah, on Piers Morgan.
No, I've never discussed euthanasia with Piers Morgan in my life.
Okay, so my point is that you don't agree with
I'm the guy
founders
here.
of this country.
If anyone watching at home, I'm the only guy here who actually supports American values, democracy, free speech, the Constitution. I've got folks here telling me they don't believe in democracy, that they're nationalists.
Wait, why should we care about that, by the way?
Isn't that what America stands for? What does America stand for? So you hate what America stands for, not me.
I'm not even
saying...
And
in fact, all the studies show that immigrants actually are more patriotic than native-born Americans.
The only reason why, that's the Mexicans in LA right now burning it down, waving Mexican flags.
LA's being burned down?
Please don't send us back to the country that we're waving the flag of.
I've been in LA for a few days. I didn't see anything burned down.
Yeah, I know. The riots have ended. That's because Trump sent.
But if it's burned down, where's it all burned down? I haven't seen it. I've traveled around all of LA. You said LA was burned down. LA is 500 square miles. It's not a figure of speech, actually. It's another false claim of yours.
No, they're burning
I support
buildings.
euthanasia. LA's burned to the ground.
Bro, just
immigrants
listen,
hate what we stand for.
Okay, so
I'm super relaxed.
So you're pro-abortion.
But you're just saying one false thing after another.
So you're pro-abortion,
and I'm standing by my position. Immigrants are good for
You're pro-abortion. You're an immigrant.
I'm pro Roe v. Wade. Personally, I'm not pro-abortion. If you knew anything about me, you know.
Roe v. Wade is...
All right, pause. You've been voted out.
I was going to say nice to meet you, Brian, but I guess not. You made it.
Great to see you. My name is Cyrus.
Nice to meet you, Cyrus.
I am also son of 2 immigrants, came in legally. I'm also Persian descent.
Fantastic.
Born in LA.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Terangelis.
Yes. Well, I am mainly upset, not at the immigrants, legal or not. I'm mainly upset at Wall Street. I'm mainly upset at the elites, the special interests.
I'm with you.
They are the main reason why we've been having this issue since 1965. And most want to do well. There are a few bad apples, we can agree.
Okay.
But we want to go after the elites. They are the main cause of the problem.
Love it.
And just like healthcare, trade, everything.
Did you know, Cyrus, that the top 1% dodge $163 billion in taxes every year, while undocumented people pay $100 billion in tax? So I know where my anger is against.
There are issues with our tax system on the rich, but in a state like California, some taxes are too high. I used to live here. Now I live in Las Vegas.
Different debate.
Okay.
I'm saying immigration is good for America.
Depends on the
People
tactics.
like you and me overall are good for America is what I'm saying.
Okay, but depends on how it's done.
Yes.
It depends on how it's done.
And how it's been done
so
for the US.
I'm not blaming the housing crisis on immigrants, not on wages, but in a state like California that doesn't build enough homes and they're bringing immigrants in, you have to increase supply of housing.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
But this is where our anger is at the political class.
I agree.
The Democrat Party used to have a different stance on immigration 15 years ago. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not here to defend different Democrats. What I will say is
that's our anger.
What I will say is that everyone here actually does think immigration is good for America. Everyone here uses an iPhone designed by an immigrant, is on Gmail designed by an immigrant, is on a YouTube show.
But
you guys all came to a YouTube show founded by an immigrant. You wouldn't be here.
But that's
if it
a
wasn't for
tiny
an immigrant.
minority.
So you all love immigrants, whether you like it or not.
Okay, but it is a taboo subject. Should we be concerned about the demographics? So
no.
Anglo-Saxon, European American, 0% of America, it doesn't matter.
Are they 0% of America?
Well, let's say if it becomes 0%, it should not worry.
They're not going to. Why are you bringing weird hypotheticals?
But there has to. But I mean, they're still part of our country. There's culture. There's. I mean, even Britain. Like, it concerns me. But it concerns me when Britain is changing, and it's it's like they're losing their culture. But it's losing their culture. Are they? Are they going to try to?
I'm from the UK. I'm telling you, no one's losing their culture.
London is going to be very little British in one day. What's the plan? That's what we want to know. What's the plan?
You just made that up. Have you been to London?
How do we know?
Cyrus, have you been to London?
No.
So then maybe you shouldn't comment on places you don't know anything about.
But what's the plan?
I grew up in London. London's a very British city. I was in London a few weeks ago.
Okay.
It's a very British city.
I hope not. I understand that there are people in this audience that don't like me or you in this country. And I respect that. There's some that don't even want me to date a blonde woman. They want to keep to their own, or ginger or whatever. I respect that. But there has to be a deal made. There's Idaho, there's Montana. They can go live in a homogeneous society. I don't believe in force, okay? And I believe that there has to be a deal made. And I think there's upsides and downsides to diversity.
There is a deal made. People have elections. They vote for elections. And right now, there's Donald Trump in the White House. Not someone I support, but people voted for him.
Well, why did he get in, mainly? Because we had 2016,
not sure we have time
2016, Bernie Sanders. Okay.
Part of the reason he got in is that people in this room want people like me and you to leave, and they voted for him to try and make that happen.
I'm not surprised. One of the Charlottesville marchers doesn't like me. And I've met those people. And I respect their views.
You really shouldn't.
Well, they're wants.
Don't respect racists and fascists, is my advice to you.
Well, they have their preferences. That's just, we can't change that.
Actually, we can. That's why I tried to come in today, but anyways.
All right, that's time. Please return to your seat.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Great
Cyrus.
pleasure.
Good. This was the best.
I'm really... Alright, racists, we're gonna address this again, since the inferior people are struggling. Black Americans are the only indigenous people on this land. Melanated people are the only people around the world who are indigenous on every land, no matter their ethnic group. Uncivilized lands all have the same genetic connection. Melanated skin with varying shades of brown. And those groups are not connected to Africa, just like Black Americans aren't connected to Africans, ethnically. The actual American Indian, known as the Black Americans, are the ethnic group of North America, not descendants of Africans. Let's dismantle the greatest public relations fraud ever committed, the desperate multiracial campaign to erase the true indigenous Black American from this land. There is a coordinated effort, a relentless lie, designed to make Black Americans believe they are a guest in someone else's house. But the unchangeable, archaeological, and historical truth is that Black Americans are the foundation. They were here first. And by here, I mean the world. Every country. Every strip of land. And they built the civilization that we are all destroying. The lie about Africa is to confuse and mislead so that the theft can keep going on. Black Americans weren't even considered African American until 1988 by Jesse Jackson, a known Cherokee Indian. So they'll pay a Black American leader to lie and sell out, while classifying himself correctly despite the lie. If Black Americans came from Africa by boat in the 1600s, America didn't figure this out until 1988? And this isn't just a white lie. This is a lie woven by $5 pretendians, by secret treaties between immigrant groups, by decades of policy and propaganda all aimed at one single goal, convincing the world that the original people of this soil simply do not exist. They have every story in the world about the false history. And then you ask for ship manifest and evidence of ships, and then suddenly they can't produce them. But they could show you evidence of the Titanic hundreds of feet under the ocean. They won't even show you the entirety of the Titanic under the water. Only a corner of this ship. They still parse that history. They have reclassified the true Indigenous people, renamed you, and redrawn maps around you, hoping you would forget the land your spirit is made from. Now they deploy their little native influencers online, armed with fraudulent petitions and digital picket signs, begging platforms to remove you from your own story. They are performing a pathetic pantomime of indigeneity. If you are Indigenous, why would you need outside help? What are they protecting? If you're truly Indigenous Native Americans, how could someone take that from you? Why the sudden panic? Every post they make, every petition they circulate is an admission. You've been caught, and now history will be made. Every other race are the visitors. It is time, Black Americans. Time for you to start acting like the host in your home, because all of this is yours. It is time you start acting like the host. All right, racists, let's talk about the truth. There is so much discourse lately about who is Native and who is Indigenous, and even the nerve to bring up who is the architect of soul food. And what everyone needs to understand is that Black people are the earth. Black people are the only unmutated humanity. They told you humans came from Africa like it was a migration story. But that's not the truth. The truth is, Africa is the first face of the earth. And blackness is the source of all biology. Everyone else? Genetic drift, mutational echo, survival glitches adapted to ice and exile. Let's talk origins. The Black woman is the womb of the world. Forget the Eve in the garden story. That was a stolen metaphor. The real Eve lives in the woman's mitochondria. And not just any women. Melanin-rich, thick-hipped, thick-lipped, and copper-toned. Elegant, poised, literally perfect, planet-rooted Black women. White women don't carry the full ancestral genome. Asian, Mexican, and Native women only carry fragments. Black women carry the total code. She doesn't reproduce diversity. She births the whole species. When small African offshoot groups migrated north, they weren't evolving. They were mutating, adapting to survival, not thriving. That's where lighter skin, narrow nostrils, reduced melanin, and behavioral changes began. All signs of environmental stress, not superiority. You don't get white by evolving. You get white by forgetting the sun. And that forgetting is not advancement, it's regression. The white genome contains 1 to 4% Neanderthal DNA. Let me repeat, they didn't just descend from humans. They were cavemen. Black people have 0 Neanderthal admixture. That's not a joke. That's biology. Black people are the originals. Non-Black people are the remix. The problem is, the remix decided to express its evil nature by attempting to erase the original track. Let's talk Indigenous. The term Indigenous was invented by settlers to decide who was Native enough to be managed, named, and displaced. But Indigenous is a political term, not a genetic one. And political terms can't overwrite blood memory. Being first on the continent does not make you first on the planet. However, Black people being first on the planet means they are first on every continent. The Black genome is Earth's source code. Everyone else is just running a copy of their biological operating system. The war against Black genetics is a war against humanity. Melanin isn't pigment, it's the processor. It's the molecule that translates solar energy into life. Plants have it, animals have it, humans need it. Black people have the highest concentration of it, which means Black people don't just live on Earth, they translate it. They are not just a race, they are the root species. Black isn't a color, it's the motherboard. Every other group, adaptations, mutations, and mistakes. This isn't supremacy. This is truth. Black people didn't come from Africa. Africa came from Black people.
There were no Indians here when Christopher Columbus got here. There were people from Africa who had been here for over 10,000 years before Christopher Columbus was born. It's time for us to teach our children the truth.
Black people, they don't want you to believe that. They don't want you to know who you are, because you're Indian. Not those type of Indians. The ones in America. Not in the 7-Elevens. In the reservations. You were indigenous to this land. And you own this promised land. But they don't want you to know that.
Good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did. They repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Eddie.
Edwin,
nice to meet you.
The question is, immigration is good for America, right?
Overall, if you look at the net positives to things like our society, our culture, our food, our economy, our general diversity, I know the D word is a bad word in places like this. I think immigrants have been a net positive. I think if you look at your everyday lives, we all benefit from immigration.
And what kind of conservatives disagree with that?
Some of the guys who told me to leave this place and go back to, I'm not a citizen.
Do you think all conservatives?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, in fact, Ronald Reagan, who's a president I wasn't a big fan of until Donald Trump came along. Now people like Reagan look good in comparison. Reagan said in 1986, our country is a nation of immigrants. Our immigrant heritage is our strength. He gave an amnesty to 3 million undocumented migrants. He understood the value of immigration. So I'm with Reagan. Yeah, although this guy's putting his thumb down there. So Reagan's not popular in right-wing crowds these days.
Yeah. Well, he's popular with me.
Good to hear.
I'm a deferred action of childhood arrivals. I was an illegal immigrant myself. I came here when I was 10. I'm what you would call a legal alien now. I didn't have any say on my parents' choices.
Yes.
Do I think that they were well-meaning by wanting to bring me over for a better future? Absolutely. I believe that.
Yeah.
Did they break the law? Yes. Do I agree with people breaking the law? Not necessarily. Do I think that there's ever a situation where you can break the law for the better or the greater good? Immigration is it's an interesting issue because I do agree with you that
good to hear.
Everyone is an immigrant in the sense. Can you tell me a little bit more about your journey?
I've been here 10 years. I'm a proud American citizen. I'm a dual national. I'm British. I'm American. And I am an immigrant who's contributing to this country. So yes, I'm very much proud of America's immigrant heritage. I'm part of it. And despite what one of the other people said on this show earlier, everyone here, unless you're Native American, is a descendant of immigrants.